Big political news coming in from election-bound Uttar Pradesh, and this is about the opposition coming together. The Rashtriya Lok Dal and the Samajwadi Party appear to have joined hands ahead of the crucial Uttar Pradesh elections. Take a look at that photograph on your screen that has been shared both by Akhilesh Yadav and Jayant Chaudhary. And that where the RLD President Jayant is meeting Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav, confirming that there is an alliance on the cards. Sources say that the talks on the seat sharing are currently in final stages between the two parties. So are you looking on your screens at a possible strong alliance that could take on the BJP and not really have, as BJP was expecting, an easy sweep? Let's go across now to Samarth Srivastava on the ground in Uttar Pradesh. Samarth, do tell us how an RLD Samajwadi Party coming together can actually change the game there in Uttar Pradesh and become a cause of worry for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Well, exactly. It's a big day for UP politics as Jayant Chaudhary met Akhilesh Yadav at his residence in Lucknow. And the talks began around 2 p.m. in afternoon, and what we are getting that the two leaders have tweeted the same picture. Akhilesh Yadav tweeted a picture in which he could be seen shaking hands with Jayant Chaudhary with a caption "Towards the Change," while Jayant tweeted another picture in which he's standing alongside Akhilesh where he wrote "Towards the Change." So these are the things happening in Uttar Pradesh, and it's very clear and evident that alliance is on the cards, though it was very clear since before that RLD and SP will come together for UP elections. But there was uncertainty somewhere and somehow. Akhilesh, while speaking to India Today a few days back, also clearly said that talks are on with RLD and they'll come together very, very soon. So it seems to be a day where the final talks have taken place. So this is the thing why Jayant Chaudhary, as per sources what we are getting, Jayant Chaudhary demanded around 50 seats, while SP was in favor of giving around 30 to 32 seats. So that was a kind of confusion which seems to be sorted out in the coming days.
And can we say
what
that
happened today is a crucial thing for
Samarth, after Prime Minister Modi announcing that the farm laws are going to be taken back, do you think this is perhaps the only chance that these two parties have to really come together strongly and then take on the BJP? Because that farm laws issue may not really have much to gather for these parties individually.
See, farm laws was acting as a backbone for the opposition parties. But since it was disallowed from the Prime Minister of India, the pact between RLD and SP seems must for opposition, and that is why Akhilesh Yadav knows that if you want to hunt down Western UP, then Jayant Chaudhary and RLD are must for Samajwadi Party, and that is the reason why SP is going with RLD, while Jayant feels that SP is the only party which can bring change, and that is the reason if BJP was to be defeated, it is the pact between RLD and SP, that's for sure. Yes.
Thank you so much, Samarth Srivastava, with all the latest on that Samajwadi Party and the Rashtriya Lok Dal coming together, whether it is farmers' issues, whether it is taking on the Bharatiya Janata Party. Are we possibly looking at an alliance that could really now take on to the BJP that appears strong for now in Uttar Pradesh? So what exactly is happening on the other side? After Bundelkhand and Purvanchal regions, this is now the big Western Uttar Pradesh push by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Take a look at the pictures on your screen. Now remember, Prime Minister Modi is all set to lay the foundation stone of Noida International Airport at Jewar on November 25, just 2 days from now. Ahead of that grand event, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has already reached Jewar and he is inspecting preparations of the mega inauguration, which is Bhumi Pujan for now, by the Prime Minister. And the airport, just giving you a background, will be built at a cost of around 30,000 crore rupees. The Jewar International Airport will be spread across 5,000 hectares in Greater Noida and will have about 5 to 8 runways, apart from, remember, the massive 5,000 hectares land that it will be spread across. And all of this, as is being construction that is underway, the Uttar Pradesh government is likely to change the name of the Yamuna Expressway to Atal Bihari Vajpayee Expressway, and that renaming announcement is likely to be made on November 25th during this Bhumi Pujan ceremony. Let's give you a political background. The Bharatiya Janata Party had won 109 seats out of 136 seats in 2017 assembly elections. The region, the Western UP area, also comprises of the Jat vote base, which can be considered strong with regard to the BJP. It has been traditionally with them. There were the farm laws agitation that had bothered them. But after the announcement, can this Jat vote return to the BJP and bring it back to par in Uttar Pradesh? So right now under construction, what will this massive Jewar International Airport actually look like? Take a look on your screens as we've prepared some of these pointers of what precisely is it going to be so famous for. One, of course, the cost. That is about 30,000 crore rupees, which means this will be spread in a massive land area and has been a project that will be undertaken by the Zurich Airport International AG. But apart from that, as it is being called as the Jewel Airport, it has been a pact that was signed by the Yogi government in 2020. The completion of the construction is expected by 2024 and the spread over 5,500 hectares of land in that area. This is the Greater Noida area in Uttar Pradesh. Now, the capacity in the first terminal could be about 1.2 crore flyers every year. For the second terminal, it could be 7 crore flyers per year. It is being linked, which is very important, to the Yamuna Expressway, to the Noida Metro and to the upcoming bullet train as well. So it will be connected to all of this for people to use the airport as and when it is functional. It will be thereby making Uttar Pradesh the only state with 5 airports in total. It could be also the country's biggest airport once it is functional and completed. Importantly, all of this, as you see, is right now, of course, the preparations are on. We want to get you a latest on what precisely is the situation. Let's go across to Abhishek Anand, because Abhishek is at the Bhumi Pujan site. Right now, they're just laying the foundation stone. But what does the tayyari on the ground look like? Abhishek, over to you, as Prime Minister Modi will be arriving just 2 days from now. All right, so Abhishek Anand getting us all the latest on that. Remember, he's been there on the ground where all these preparations are taking place. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is already has reviewed the preparation. Let's go across. Yes, Abhishek, tell us what precisely is the status.
Well, Pooja, Yogi Adityanath is still there. The Chief Minister is taking stock of the situation, what is going on in the ground. A massive stage has been set up, a massive tent, 12 lakh square feet area of the tent has been set up here. The party is claiming that more than 2.5 lakh people will be in the rally, and this will be the biggest rally in Western UP ever. However, right now, you can see the CM's program is going on. He's taking stock of the situation. He's minutely observing all the things which PM will go through. All this entire area will be LCD screens will be set up in this entire area, and this entire area will be a showcase of the entire journey of Jewar Airport, how the idea was conceptualized and how the land acquisition happened, and how the airport is going to be India's biggest and world's 4th largest airport, and how much jobs will be created and how much investment will this airport bring. So this is one of the key projects the BJP is going to portray for the upcoming elections early in next year, and that is why the CM is here to take stock of the preparation.
So for 2022, it will be an infrastructure push, but also if it gets completed by 2024, it could also become a big infrastructure reference point for the Lok Sabha elections that are also due. Thank you so much, Abhishek Anand, for getting us that ground report. Now, today was a big day with regard to Tripura as well, where there are upcoming civic body elections. Now, remember, the Trinamool Congress had even taken the fight legally to the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court has refused to postpone Tripura civic elections. The Supreme Court has ordered the Bharatiya Janata Party government to maintain peace in the state during elections. The court has asked the DGP and the IGP Law and Order to hold a joint meeting with the State Election Commission by tomorrow morning for the purpose to assess the availability of paramilitary forces and ensure a peaceful conduct of the remaining phases. Now, remember, the TMC has sought action against the BJP-led Tripura government for failing to curtail violent incidents against opposition parties in the run-up to the upcoming local body elections. The TMC Council has asked Supreme Court to consider rescheduling elections, and that for now has been rejected. They had quoted that there are 17 incidents of violence without an arrest, and therefore the court should probably consider rescheduling. The Tripura government then countered the claims by TMC, calling the petition politically motivated. In just the next 2 days, on November 25, the state of Tripura will be facing elections.
उन लोगों ने बाहर से कम 1000 लोगों को अगरतला सिटी में दे के ला के हमारी सिटी का सम्मान को नुकसान करने के लिए और हमारे यहाँ पर एक साजिश रच के यहाँ पर शांति को विघ्नित करने के लिए, वहाँ पे परिवेश को खराब करने के लिए उन लोगों ने ऐसा कर रहे हैं। पूरा बाहर का साजिश है।
But apart from this, there is a legal fight and then there is a street fight. On the ground, the Trinamool Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party have indulged in an ugly face-off, and leading that is Abhishek Banerjee. He is Trinamool Congress's General Secretary and also Mamata Banerjee's nephew, and has thrown an open challenge to the Bharatiya Janata Party ahead of the upcoming civic elections. There's a big claim that Abhishek Banerjee has said that he will quit politics if he fails to defeat Biplab Deb and his tactics of intimidation. He has also added that if the Bharatiya Janata Party can prove that the Trinamool Congress does divisive politics, he will quit politics and public life thereby. The TMC leader has added that the Bharatiya Janata Party has let loose a reign of terror in Tripura because the ruling party has now been able to sense defeat. He's accusing Biplab Deb of using politics of intimidation as a ruling party against opposition.
If the BJP unit in Tripura or Bengal or anywhere in the country can give me one instance where Trinamool has tried to divide the society on lines of religion, I will quit politics forever.
So to help you understand why Tripura is now the big flashpoint between Bharatiya Janata Party, currently ruling in Tripura, and the Trinamool Congress that is trying to make inroads, take a look at these statistics. It's a 60-seat assembly in Tripura where the BJP has 36 seats in majority, the Communist Party has 16 and the IPFT only 8. Now you must be wondering then where is the Trinamool Congress? But here's why we look at the vote share aspect as well. Take a look at those graphics now. The Bharatiya Janata Party managed 43.5% in Tripura as a vote share. The Communist Party closely following it at 42.2%. The IPFT, then the Indian National Congress at 1.79%, CPI 0.82%, and there you look there on the bottom, the Trinamool Congress just 0.30%. And therefore, of course, at this point, the Trinamool Congress, after getting power in Bengal, will want to replicate it in the neighboring state of Tripura. Could this also be hinting at plans to go national with regard to the Trinamool Congress? Now, of course, for the TMC today, apart from what was happening in Tripura, was a big day meanwhile with regard to joinees as well. As you're looking on those visuals, I want to also update you about the new joinees in the Trinamool Congress. And these are big names. The Trinamool Congress is all set to expand likely its base with at least 3 new joinees. Expelled JDU leader Pawan Verma, diplomat turned politician, there you're looking at on your picture, on your screens, where once a confidant of Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar joined the TMC in Mamata Banerjee's presence in Delhi today. Apart from him, Congress leader and 3-time Member of Parliament from Darbhanga, Kirti Azad, also jumping the ship and joining the Trinamool Congress. Now, the TMC is also expected to welcome former Congress MP Ashok Tanwar, and that adds another name, a prodigy, literally many would say, of Rahul Gandhi from Haryana into its fold. The Congress trying to play down the Trinamool Congress's raid on its turf, but the new inductions adding more muscle to Mamata's national ambitions.
मैं हरियाणा जाने चाहती हूँ। हरियाणा हमारा घर का नजदीक है, इतना दूर नहीं है। दिल्ली हरियाणा एक ही है, दिल्ली हरियाणा राजस्थान पंजाब एक ही है, कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है। तो मैं भी जितना जल्दी अशोक जी मेरे को बुलाएंगे इतना जल्दी हम हरियाणा में आएंगे। आप लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया अदा करनी चाहूंगी कि आप लोगों ने इतना मेहनत से इतना दूर से आए हुए हैं और आप लोगों ने इतना अच्छा से डिसीजन लिया है। तो देश के लिए आज बीजेपी के हराने के लिए ये हमारा सबसे बड़ा फैसला है।
The former Janata Dal United leader and now in the Trinamool Congress, Pawan Verma, is now joining me live. Thank you so much, Dr. Pawan Verma. Now, you've been associated with the JDU, you were a close aide of Nitish Kumar, you were a Rajya Sabha member of Parliament, and then you decide to join the Trinamool Congress. So my question is, what role do you see for yourself in the TMC? And is this, are we looking at TMC expanding its base likely to Bihar and other states where you have expertise of? Are we looking at that role from you?
Well, thank you very much, Pooja. No, the role will be defined by the leader, and I'll be happy to make my contribution in whatever way possible in the basic attempt on her part to provide a credible, organized, strategic, and organized and pan-Indian challenge to the BJP. That is our avowed goal, and I'm sure she will be able to play the role. As far as Bihar or national politics, I don't believe the two are in contradiction. One can play a role in Bihar if required, and there are also national aspirations and planning afoot. So we shall see. In whatever manner I can contribute, I would be happy to do so.
Would you be contesting elections this time, as in when do you get that opportunity with regard to the TMC, and that for either state? Are you ready for it, or are we looking at right now perhaps as an experienced face that you are, Dr. Pawan Verma, for the Trinamool Congress?
You see, the Trinamool Congress is certainly a party with national aspirations. It is proposing to expand its footprint from beyond West Bengal.
Yes.
And certain changes and will happen as part of this evolution. It is my conviction that the TMC has the potential, the grassroots strength, and the leadership to be able to make this transformation and become a principal and effective instrument to challenge the BJP. And I don't talk of this in terms of political acrimony. A democracy needs a strong opposition and an effective opposition that can hold the government both accountable and answerable for its actions and policies.
As we talk, Dr. Pawan Verma, in Tripura, what is playing out is a bloody face-off between the BJP and the TMC, whether it's legally, whether it's on the streets. How do you look at that? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party has already criticized these new joinees, whether from Haryana, whether it is Kirti Azad, big names joining. But the BJP is already attacking that aspect as well and saying that the TMC indulges only in bloodshed, in violence, and what happened in Bengal is actually what the TMC had done.
You know, I use strong words very carefully, but what we are seeing unfolding in Tripura is anarchy and lawlessness directed by the state government. And whether the BJP at a national level is involved in that, we don't know. But it's very clear. The law is being misused, the law agencies are being co-opted, and you are seeing a situation of a carefully crafted anarchy being set upon political opponents. It must be opposed and will be opposed to whatever democratic means are available.
I wish you all the very best, Pawan Verma, for joining the Trinamool Congress, and after becoming a close aide of an advisor to Nitish Kumar, could he now become an advisor and close aide to Mamata Banerjee as well for its national ambitions? Thank you so much, Pawan Verma, for speaking to India Today. I'm heading into a very